What's good with the Studio Culture family? Welcome to another episode of the Culture Cast. Really, we could say this is Boss Talk today because I have a very special guest with me today. This man started off fixing windshields in school. Great grades. Like, man had all A's. Ended up dropping out. Ended up messing with real estate. Man, it's been a tremendous journey. He goes by the name Big Boss. He goes by the name Ham.
Why you Joseph?
Money Mitch, though. You see the hat. He really goes by Money Mitch.
Pretty much what he's saying, Abram Mitchell. Some of y'all might know me. I went to school at UL for a few years till I dropped out. I'm from Prairieville, Louisiana. But basically what we came to talk about today is currently what we doing now, the entrepreneur journey.
Right. Facts.
I live in Nashville right now, by the way. I own a wholesale real estate company. Real estate company.
But before,
we'll get into that today.
Yeah, before we get into the real estate, we would definitely like Abram mentioned, we would definitely like to get into his journey, more so kind of looking at the things that led him up to that point, of just now getting to the point in life where he's really starting to figure it out. But Abe, how did you first start figuring it out? Like, what was your process while in school? You had great grades and everything. You had a very successful business. So like, what kind of was your thought process? Like, you wouldn't see anybody give that up to go pursue another dream.
Man, first thing I'm gonna say, I ain't got everything figured out. You'll never have everything figured out.
Right.
That's free game right there. But I mean, mindset. That's my answer to everything. When somebody asks me how you do this, how you do that, mindset and God, but God bless you with the mindset. Mm-hmm. So anything I believe I won't do or anything I won't do, mm-hmm. then I'm gonna do it. So basically what Trent talking about is, I come from a family of entrepreneurs already as it is. My parents, they own a glass company. So I kind of picked up on that early at a young age. And at a certain point, my father, he came and passed off, the business to me, and I started running with that. And I had it in Laffey.
Yeah.
And that's funny you said very successful. Because successful, it depends on your definition of success. Because very successful, I still be doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was at a certain point where, I was making a lot of money doing glass, doing windshields, but it got to a point where I hit a plateau, When you make I'm a person that's, you comfortable, you're not growing, you know what I'm saying? You're not growing, you dying. So, I was making money, but I was making the same amount of money for a long time. So I'm like, this not really the path for me.
Right.
And then I was working too much. In the sun.
Right, yeah.
In the sun. While I was so I wasn't, But the real estate that came, it wasn't something that I'm not even gonna say I've been researching real estate my whole life and wanted to just get into it. It just kinda like, life.
Yeah.
My aunt, my dad's sister, her husband, so my uncle, he does real estate. So, I talk to him a lot and, I started, asking him questions, asking him how I could get into real estate. Mm-hmm. And, everybody our age, of course, they go think, I can't get into real estate right now. You need, you need $1 million or good credit or, you need to be somebody already or already be successful to own real estate.
Right.
And it's really not like that. It's really not like that. But one time we were just talking on the phone, he mentioned some wholesale real estate to me and he said something about no money, mm-hmm. No credit. You hear that, you already like, that's a scam.
It's
Come
suspect,
on, bro. Come on, don't waste my time. Mm-hmm. Then he starts saying, dude, 19 years old, making 6 figures. You hear that word, 6 figures. I'm like, all right, keep talking, you know. He like, yeah, they do it. It's called wholesale. So I'm like, you know me, I'm just naturally like, you talking no money, no credit, no college degree, I'm listening, you know, even if it might be a scam, even if it's 0.1% chance, I gotta, you know, bloop in there. But basically what happened was he sent me a video, I started researching it, and man, I just started watching podcasts. You know, you get in that phase where you learn and you hearing the success stories. So I'm seeing dudes across the country, our age, 19, 20, wholesaling, buying Lambos. They on podcasts, so I'm listening, and I'm like, all right, cause that's the thing. I'm happy you said that, cause it's not about. See, people, they want to be successful, be rich, and all that. But they want it right now. So I want to focus on being rich right now. So all the money I got, I'm trying to throw it out to work from, because cash is trash. It's a piece of paper. You know? So I called my uncle back and I'm like, I'm trying to do that. Yeah, I'm trying to do that. And I'm like, you wholesale? He was like, nah, I don't wholesale. He really do new construction. He build houses from the ground up. That's another thing. Real estate is broad. You know, you could be a real estate agent, you know, where you list homes for people and help them sell their home. You could be a real estate investor. And investor, that term is broad. You know, you could buy houses to hold them and rent them out to tenants. You could buy them to fix them up and flip them. Or you could buy them, you could buy land and build property from the ground up, you know, so it's basically whatever you want to get into, or you could do a little bit of everything. So my uncle was already, you know, dabbling in real estate, doing his thing and, you know, successful, you know, he was doing good at it. And at the time he was still working his 9 to 5, but he was trying to get out that transition. But yeah, we started talking about wholesaling. It was at a time where I went to the convention? The convention for Kappa. You know, shout out Theta Nu. Shout out to the new, you know. I gotta give my shout out.
Got to.
So I was going to Atlanta for a convention, and basically I went straight from Atlanta. I saw it as an opportunity to just dip to Nashville, because Atlanta like 3 hours away from Nashville. So it was a long story short, like the convention paid for my flight. So the flight going back to Lafayette, I called them and switched that flight from Lafayette to Memphis.
Wow.
And that was a long day. They didn't even want to do that. I was on the phone with them for hours, but they did it though. And I went to Memphis and caught a ride with my people to Nashville. But yeah, basically I got to Nashville to my uncle and them crib, and I'm like, I done pulled up. Let's get a 1 day in.
It's for real now.
Was up, call up the best wholesaler you know around here, tell them I'll take them to lunch, I'm trying to learn. So that's what happened, you know. They had a wholesaler in the area that my uncle worked with. They was actually doing a new construction project together. But we went to lunch. I sat down with him and just picked his brain.
The rest of
his brain is, you know, he just dropping game. That was it. We just sat at lunch, he dropped game. After that, I was like, all right, I'm going back to Laffy, and I'm about to go ahead and start doing it. So then I made goals. I think at that time I wanted to make like 20 grand. It was like August at the time, August 2018. And I wanted to make 20 grand from August to December. So I wanted to do like,
what is that, 5 months?
Yeah, whatever, 4, 5, somewhere around there. But basically I'm saying that because I'm saying, first I found out what it was, I researched it, and this quick. I found out what wholesaling was in July, and I'm starting it by August. So I found out what it was, researched it, and I'm starting it. No, I wasn't an expert at it. I didn't know everything. But the main thing the OGs was telling me was fail forward, progress over perfection. You go mess up.
Facts.
but you gonna make money while doing it, you know? So I'm like, all right, it's cash, you know, it's the same thing I'm doing with the glass business, which sitting at a car wash, getting people to buy into something, but I'm getting paid $50, $60.
Right.
Now I'm just negotiating a price on someone's property,
Right.
but now the check's bigger.
Right.
You
It's
know?
just like a level up.
So again, back what I was saying, I wanted to make 20 grand. I wrote that down, you know? I wrote down 20 grand. I wanted 5 deals. And I also wrote down how much hours I wanted to dedicate to it a week, because I was in school at the same time. But 20 hours, that's what I was like, 20 hours a week, 20 hours a week. And that's during the day. At night, you know, I was still educating myself. That's a true story. So them 20 hours.
Which you was out in the field?
Huh?
You was out in the field on those 20
hours? Out in
hours?
the field, man. Like, I'm gonna explain, like, even when I'm at the car wash, at the business I currently own, the glass business, I was there and on my free time making calls to sellers. Like, not even knowing how to even talk real estate.
Right.
Like, I'm literally calling people up like, yeah, this Abram, you interested in selling your property?
Right.
And they'd be like, well, how much you pay me for it? And I'm like, I give you 20 grand. And laugh and click.
Right.
But I mean, I'm the type of person that I'd rather do something and learn while I'm doing it.
Right.
Because every phone call, I learned something.
Right.
I was learning something, you know?
Right.
So it didn't at the same time picking my uncle brain. So at the end of the day, I might have talked to about 5-10 people about that property. Let me explain how I talk to people about the property, how I get their numbers and stuff like that.
You know, give them a little sample.
Yeah.
Give 'em
So
a little
basically, I know some people probably like, you know, you talking about you just calling people out. So wholesaling real estate, and if you interested in getting like a brief overview or explanation of what wholesale real estate is, you could check it out at my YouTube channel, Abram Mitchell. You can search that, Money Mitch. You could click the link in my Instagram, Twitter bio, and I have a video basically explaining what wholesale real estate is. But how I got properties to prospect to, driving for dollars, driving around Lafayette, getting addresses of properties, writing them down, and skip tracing people. So skip tracing is basically going on the internet and finding people's number. You could pay someone to do it, or you could go on Facebook and try to find someone's number. Yeah, I was doing that, so it is what it is. I was going on Facebook and I was paying people when I had enough money to do that.
Right.
So, and yeah, I was funneling all the money I was making from my glass business into wholesale company. So glass business, bills, wholesale company, and you know, the money I got after that, you know, I might buy something with that. Where you know, I like to flex. So I still made it work, you know what I mean? But so driving for dollars, skip tracing, getting numbers of people. So that's when, you know, I started dialing, calling people while I'm at work, in the sun, at the car wash, on the phone, asking people if they interested in selling their property and not replacing windshields, but we're paying them at the same time. At a certain point, that got played out. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, I fell off the car wash after about a month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah, you had to stop going.
Yeah, because it got to a point where it's like, okay, you have 100%.
If it ring, cha-ching.
That ain't cha-ching.
He said that ain't cha-ching.
All right. But what I was saying?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting how like you didn't stop working a job at the same time, because you know, like I said, at least outside looking in, it would look very successful. But you didn't stop. I feel like you had it in mind that you were going to already use that business to funnel whatever you wanted to get into in real estate, because you need capital to fail, essentially.
Because that's the thing. I'm happy you said that, because it's not about. See, people, they want be successful, be rich and all that, but they want it right now. So I wasn't focused on being rich right now. So all the money I got, I'm trying to throw it out to work
Right.
for me because cash is trash. It's a piece of paper.
Right.
I'm dead serious. Like, and I'm gonna explain it to you. If you got money, if say you got $500 and you have it sitting on this desk right here, $500, and it's just sitting there, what it's doing for you? Nothing. But say a month go by, you think that $500 still gonna be sitting there? No.
Probably not.
And what you think it's done for you? You spent it?
Oh yeah,
Spent it on something. So that's what I mean when I say cash is trash. Like, money is really a tool. So
Yeah.
when I say spending the money, like, I'm trying to throw it into wholesale, throw it into glass company, throw it into a vehicle that's gonna produce
Right.
cash flow for me.
Right.
Because that's what you need. You need consistent money coming in.
Yeah,
You
yes
know?
indeed.
So I wasn't worried about spending all my money on this business that I don't even know could work yet, because I mean, I had the vision that it had a chance that it could work. You know what I'm saying? So at a certain point, I was doing the glass, I was doing that, and you know, you only got 100% of yourself. So either I could give 100% of this to wholesale and get it, or I could try to give 50% to glass, 30% to wholesale, 20% to school. You know what I'm saying? And it's not efficient. So at a certain point, I just went all in with the wholesale. I bought a course from Brent Daniels. I spent $4,000 on that. Me and my uncle, we actually went half on it. So at that point, that's when we became partners. So me and my uncle, we became 50-50 partners. We went half on a wholesale course. And basically, we got that course, and that gave me like cause it wasn't just knowledge, it was guidance at that point. So it was how to apply the knowledge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's when I, started learning systems, processes, and that's when I got rolling and
really get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah. So I was, calling. I go to school, get back, call for about 3 hours a day. I had a power dollar system that, allowed me to make about 300 calls in that time span.
Right.
So it took me about 4 or 5 months till I got my first deal. I remember the morning, I was calling my uncle. I'm like, it closed yet? It closed yet?
Right.
He like,
waiting.
He was like, nah. Closed yet? Then he just sent me the check. Man, when I seen that check, I was like, oh.
But I look at that as like, basically you put that 5 months, which would have been tuition, into real estate, and like you said,
I was in school though.
Oh, were you still in school?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's even crazier. That's even crazier.
I was in school though, so I was in school. I was doing the glass company. I was doing the real estate. I mean, I wouldn't say I was the busiest person in the world, so I'm not saying that to say I was the busiest person in the world, because I still find time to have me time. So when you try to make that excuse for yourself that you ain't got time,
you're not really trying to do it.
Yeah, you're not trying to do it. So you just got to maximize your time. But basically, it took me 4 or 5 months. So I went 4 or 5 months.
Quick.
No check, no real estate check. Reading up on something, putting money into it, and not getting paid for it. Putting hours into it, not getting paid for it.
Well, that's just how it go. Sometimes you gotta wait a couple years before you get that check from that one thing. You still had your business. Now, would you have been working your glass business up to the point that you would have got a deal? Or would you eventually stop working a glass business even if you didn't have the deal and would have been like, I'm going all in on the deal?
The thing is, I fell out from the glass business, but the thing about having a hustle, which I encourage everyone to, I mean, you could have a job, but it's 2020, so it's so many ways to, have a hustle, Like a lot of women, you have nail companies, makeup, hair, clothing lines, men too, haircut, barbering, but have a hustle, something that you could pick up and do at any time. So even though I wasn't going to glass every day, I could go a Saturday or Friday, go make a couple $100 and you know what I mean? So it was there. So learn a niche, learn something that is a service that, solve a problem that's gonna pay you. You know what I mean? So you could always make some money.
Regardless.
You know what I mean? So Yeah, I started falling off that, but here now, you know, I make some money doing that. But at a certain point, you know, 4 or 5 months, and I got the first wholesale deal.
It was raps after that. He said, I ain't going back to school. He said, I ain't going back to school. And that's how it be.
Yeah, we got the first wholesale deal, and we was blessed. We was blessed. So me and my uncle, we was 50-50. So he actually had to buy the house. So it was
yeah.
He had to buy it. So
how important is it to have, you know, somebody like uncle, somebody like your own family to invest in you?
Bro, bro, people don't have that. Like, that's why I say blessed, because it's like my dad, like, I had great parents that they made sure that, but my dad, me a hustler, like, he had the glass company, but he know how to make a lot of money, but the financial literacy, you know what I mean? He, you know, but he knew how to hustle, and that's where I get the hustle from. You have to have the hustle, though. That's the, you know, if you ain't got the hustle, you'll never make it. So I'm grateful that, you know, my dad gave me the hustle, gave me the game. But where my uncle came in was the stuff that you can't learn in school. Not this, you know, it's the white collar stuff. It's the stuff that's in books.
Yeah.
You know, credit. He put me on game with that.
And that's what I tell people, like, outside of school, life is a totally different ball game.
Yeah.
But you have to still use those tools that you would have used in school outside, like planning every day, a calendar. I'm pretty sure if you didn't plan anything, you wouldn't have any deals. Like you said, you wrote your goal down. So writing things down, holding yourself accountable, you know, all sorts of those things, reading. Studying, like, you gotta study credit. You don't just magically pick these things up and, you know, learn.
Facts.
Like that.
So at that point, I mean, I was learning in school, but I mean, I was willing to be a workhorse, do whatever, and just soak up. You know, we bought the course, and then my uncle, like, he was just dropping knowledge on me because he was in the field doing this, building houses, doing real estate deals. So when it comes to, like, the title companies, the lawyers, the paperwork, how to analyze real estate, he taught me that stuff. You know what I mean? So,
but you didn't wait on any of that to
you gotta
get
it.
deal.
You gotta get it. So I mean, he worked, like I said, he worked a 9 to 5. So it's not like, oh, we got set times. He called me. No, I'm blowing his line up. You know, and he got kids, like less than 1 year old at the time. So I'm blowing his line up. Boom, 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 boom. I'm out in the field, so I'm asking questions. Hey, I was on the phone with this person. I heard equity today. What that mean? You know, I was watching this podcast, watching this YouTube video, and I heard somebody say this. What's a comp? What's an ARV? And then, you know, he'll tell me. So it wasn't like, oh, class in session, and he was just giving me all his time. It was, oh, I'm going research, and I'm going fact check with him. And that's how you should look at your relationships with, like, a mentor or somebody you want to learn from. You got to be willing to put in the work, you know, making calls, doing stuff like that. You got to be willing to put in the work. You know what I mean? You got to provide value for somebody to, you know, give you value. The game sold separately. Shout out to Drake.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so basically, you know, I learned a lot from my uncle, learned a lot from mentorship, invested a lot into mentorship. We got our first wholesale deal and we put that back into the business. Really. It was a nice deal. At that moment, I dropped out. So we got the first deal. It closed October 19th. I definitely remember the date. So it was October 19th, 2018. I remember the morning, I was calling my uncle. I'm like, it closed yet? It closed yet? He like,
waiting.
He was like, nah. Closed yet? Then he just sent me the check. Man, when I seen that check, I was like, oh. I was like, I'm done. I was ready to leave school. Like, it was the middle of the semester.
Yeah,
I was ready to check out. I'm like, I'm ready to go to Nashville. I was ready to go. But
it was like,
we got the first deal, and we put that back into the business. So like I said, we was investing into mentorship. We went to All In. Shout out to those guys, Alex, Carlos, on Sal. We spent a lot of money on their mentorship, and it was worth it, you know. So we got a lot of gain from that, you know.
Oh, yes, indeed.
But then, you know, we started building a business. Me and my uncle, we hired people. I dropped out. So I set up, we had another deal closing. So we got the first deal that closed. Then we had a package deal. So we had two deals. Another seller that I called, and we got two deals from him. And basically, I was moving to Nashville when the semester ended around like December, around that time, and we set the closing basically for the day I was flying out there.
Right.
It was gonna be the same day of closing. So we got there that day of closing, and closing ain't happened.
No.
So it ain't
Right.
peaches and
Yeah.
cream. It ain't peaches and cream. We had a deal closing.
Well, I would have been like,
And the buyer bailed out on the deal. Life happens. He said his mother passed away or something. His partner, they was from like Israel. One of them had to fly there. But long story short, we had a contract on the property for 200 grand on the day of closing, and we had no buyer.
wow.
So it's either
Right.
we don't close and get sued, or we go ahead and earn our skin in the game.
Right.
So I mean, I'm saying we, but it's really me. My uncle,
Right.
you know, he experienced with buying properties.
So would you
but-
would have to pay off the 200,000?
Nah, we didn't have to pay out the 200,000, but we had to get a lender and close. So we
Oh,
had to
yeah.
bring, we had
So
to
you
bring
had-
10. We had to bring
Yeah.
10. So
Yeah.
I had to bring like, it really averaged out to like 8 apiece
Right.
to close the deal. So they had to spend 8 bands on my account the day I dropped out of school. So I'm like,
That's what I was about to ask you. Like when you dropped out, especially after that happening, I'm like, shit, boy. Now I'm out here in Nashville. I done dropped out of school.
dog,
It's a welcome party.
dog, I was like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh, I
right.
never winched or whatever. Man, I was like, I'm going back. Like, I'm telling you, the whole
Yeah.
8 bands left my account.
Hard
I'm like,
drop.
hold up, bro. And I'm like, man, hold up.
Right.
And I got blessed into it. You know, my uncle, he
Right.
was happy it happened. I
Right.
feel like, 'cause he
Learned it
like,
early.
this real estate, it ain't peaches and cream. You know,
Right.
bad stuff happen in every business. In every business. No business is perfect. So early into the game, that happened. And I mean, that was short term. You know, I
Yeah.
thought about coming back, but I mean, I wasn't doing that. We
you
got
was
back
just-
on it.
you know, you was just
we
telling
bought the
yourself.
crib, we bought the house, we put some money into it. Like,
Yeah.
we put like another like 3-5 grand into it. But we had got a loan that covered the rehab costs. But we listed it and we ended up selling it. So
Right.
we ended up selling it like 60 days later. And it actually is funny because the same buyer that bailed out that day, he came back and bought it.
Yeah.
At a higher price.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
he
see,
came back and bought it.
Everything happens for a reason.
You know, that's how God works. But
You learned a new skill and doing repairs too, and
Facts.
learning how to do that. So
and
that
got
was just a
experience
blessing.
purchasing a house,
Yeah.
reading over loan paperwork,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
That's
So,
needed too. So
Facts.
it's all about how you look at it. You could have looked at it in a negative situation and be like, "Shit, I ain't really messing with it."
So then we got blessed into the game. I mean, I did, and from there was the grind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, learning, trying, trial and error, messing up, going droughts, going 3-4 months without deals. At a certain point, me and my uncle, we're not partners anymore, so it's just me. For about a year now,
Right.
It's just me. So I independently own my own wholesale company, and I mean that didn't come overnight. You know, I went down, went up,
Yeah,
get chunks of money. You know,
that's crazy.
30, 40, $50,000 checks.
You
And seeing that stack into the account and seeing it go all the way down and
Oh,
building it
yeah.
right back up. So, you know, the knowledge was always there. And now, you know, getting to the point where I have a team of 11 employees. 90% of it is virtual. And,
Right.
you know, I have a few people that's in market. And we're doing business in Nashville, Memphis, Chattanooga, Atlanta. Just closed on a rehab that, if you check on my YouTube, you'll see some stuff about that, fixing the home up, flipping it. And, you know, I'm just getting started. But I'm just happy to
Right.
come on here, drop some game.
Oh yes,
You know,
appreciate having
word
me.
of the day is mindset. Anything that you feel like you could do it. If you think you could do it, you could do it. somebody else did it so you could do it. I'm not different from you.
Everybody got the
else,
same 24.
Anybody could do this. So, if you're interested in it, hit me up. DM me, ask me questions. I don't care. I drop game. I don't look at competition.
Where can the people find you at on your socials?
Abram _55. So ABRAMM _55.
Everywhere?
That's everything. And that's it, man. That's it.
Well, you heard it from the man himself. He repping that Louisiana Rich, man. My brother Ham, appreciate having you, brother.
Y'all stream that familiar feelings, man.
Oh yeah, stream that
For
familiar
real.
feelings, bro.
For real. Shout out Louisiana Rich.
Oh yeah.
And Ellie.
Drink Ellie, man. Drink Ellie. You know how we get down, man. Appreciate y'all tuning into the Culture Cast with
Tell
the
them boys
boss.
catch the drip though. With that?
Yeah, you on that one. They can see the drip. They can see the drip. They can see the drip.
That's Louis on the Apple Watch, bro. I'm trying to put the rollie on my wrist.
Familiar feelings, man. Go check that out, man. My brother Abe, man. And until next time, we out. Deuces.
I ain't showing up, less is about $1 bill. Mama said chill, look like you need some rest. She just don't know. I'm in the best shape of my life. The best shape of my life. The best shape of my life. I'm in the best shape of my life.